in Disney's Magic Kingdom. It's our last Disney day today. We're actually going home tomorrow, which I'm really sad about. As you can see, it's packed, and I think the reason is it's the Labor Day weekend. It's a Sunday. I was kind of hoping it would be less packed today than yesterday, because yesterday was obviously Saturday, but also it was open till midnight, and I was thinking, well, today would be better. However, it's ridiculous. So what we've done is we fast passed Space Mountain first, and I put the kids on that, and this isn't ideal, especially if you have smaller kids. I mean, my daughter can look after the younger ones, so it's not so bad, but I'm now having to walk all the way over to Fantasyland to try and get a return time for Peter Pan, because that's the other ride that we really want to go on. And then later we have a fast pass for Splash Mountain, and near Splash Mountain I'm going to try and get a return time on the Disability Pass for something else. I don't know if it's going to work today. It depends on how long the return times are. Sometimes it can be a bit too long of a wait in between rides, especially if you've got kids who don't understand waiting. To be honest, even though it's the most magical place on earth and I absolutely love it, there's Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, I find Magic Kingdom the most stressful park to visit with autistic kids. I mean, getting in is hard, and then once you're in the park, if it's busy, it's difficult. Epcot and Animal Kingdom are a lot more chilled and a lot easier, with a lot more to do if you haven't got a fast pass for a ride. So we'll see how today goes, and I'll let you know. You may have noticed on my videos that I'm not actually going on a lot of the rides. The reason for that isn't because I don't want to go on the rides, actually. It's because if you're working the Disability Access Pass with the Fast Passes, in order to go on the ride you need the Fast Pass ticket, one of your ticket to get in, to scan it at the beginning of the ride and then at the end of the queue. So if you use the Disability Pass, it's also linked to a ticket, my son's ticket. So what I'm doing is I'm letting the kids go on the rides with the Fast Passes, and I'm using my son's ticket to get the Disability Passes for when we go back. So I'm only getting to go on the ones with Disability Pass, and my daughter is taking him on the ones that we Fast Pass. It works because the kids are getting on the rides, but me personally, I'm not getting on so many. I don't mind making that sacrifice, it's for my kids, but if the kids were younger that would be really hard because I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's not ideal, and I do worry all the time that my son's going to kick off in the queue if the Fast Pass queue's a bit longer. So it's a hard one, it's a hard decision to make, but that's what we're doing today because it's so busy we're going to have to. Unfortunately, what I thought would happen might have just happened. The Peter Pan ride, because it's so busy, the queue time is ridiculous. So the return time that I've been given, which is 10 minutes less than the queue time, is an hour and a half away from now. What that means is you can only fast pass every hour when you book the fast passes. So until 1 hour's run out, you can't book another fast pass. So we've gone on Space Mountain as the first fast pass, got a return time for an hour and a half for Peter Pan, and we now have an hour's wait until our next fast pass and an hour and a half's wait until our Disability Pass, and because the kids don't cope with queues, we can't actually go on anything in the meantime. So that's why we don't like the Magic Kingdom as much as anywhere else, unfortunately. I'm going to try and go to guest services and see if they can do anything about it. Okay, we are in the Hall of Presidents waiting to go into the show. I went to guest services and the very nice guy in there, he gave us 2 extra fast passes because the park's so busy. He said it is especially busy today. It's Labor Day weekend and it's Sunday, so there's a lot of people in the park, and we're struggling because it's so crowded outside everywhere that it's like just virtually queuing in a massive crowd, which really isn't working, and the kids are very, very stressed. So he's given us 2 extra fast passes, and we're still waiting for the return time on the Disability Pass. So we are going to go and see this show. Hopefully we'll just come somewhere it's a bit cooler because the parade's on. I mean, the parade is great, but it's just a massive crowd waiting to watch a parade again. So we are proper struggling today. The kids are struggling. So we're going to watch this, and then we're going to go back up to Peter Pan, and then after Peter Pan Splash Mountain we have a fast pass, and then we're going to use our extra fast passes for 2 rides before our Haunted Mansion fast pass, and then hopefully we can stay out of the crowds and go on some rides today. And as my daughter's just told me, she hates this park, she likes all the other ones, but she absolutely hates the Magic Kingdom, which kind of sums up today really. But hopefully these extra fast passes will help us. Although the guy did say that you don't always get given them, sometimes you get given them, so it just depends who you speak to. I think these are all just president memorabilia that I'm looking at. I'm not sure how long the wait is for this, but at least we're in quite a big room.
It is 1783, and
87 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presidents of the United States of America. George Washington.
So the Hall of Presidents show, it's sort of 20 to 25 minutes long. So you could actually be waiting 25 minutes before you can get in. The show, it's no louder than, say, a normal cinema. The screen's bigger, so it's longer. At times it feels like you're moving a little with some of the stuff. It's mostly a history lesson with presidents, and then the screen opens and there's some presidents, sort of all the presidents throughout the ages are on the stage, the wax models. So that's pretty much the show in a nutshell. The only issues are the disability area isn't particularly big. If wheelchairs get priority, so if you don't cope in the middle of the cinema normally, or you don't cope with the noise of a cinema normally, and you're not interested in history in America, then it's probably not the best ride, best show. But if you are interested, or your kid's one of those that can name all the presidents throughout the years, it might be worth going to. It is cool in there. It's nice to get out of the crowds for a bit and out of the hot. But other than that, it's up to you. Here we are at the back of Splash Mountain. We're going on Splash Mountain next. We fortunately have a fast pass because the queue is quite long. This is the queue, the normal standby queue for Splash Mountain. It goes around here. There's a lot going on in this area because it's also a stop for the train that goes around the park. I was just going to show you that if you need to get away from the crowds, it's pretty crowded today. You need to make a quick getaway somewhere a little bit quieter, again by the restrooms. There's far less people and seating, drink fountains, a little area over there where the phones are. It's in the shade, and there's not as many people over in this bit, so it's less crowded. Here's the Fast Pass Plus queue for Splash Mountain. I think the boats are just there, and this is as far down the queue as we got before we had to stop, so there's not really much queue at all on this one, which is great. And the corridor was quite loud back there, but it's alright once you get back outside. My son's just said it's so noisy. Alright. Yeah. Oh, missed it again. My phone got a bit wet there. I'm going to put my phone away in a minute. We weren't waiting long, we were waiting a couple of minutes. Jumped on the next boat, and now we are on Splash Mountain. That was just a little drop. See behind, it's not too big. And then we come inside, and it's really fun. There's lots of singing animals.
That's what you ask us. That's what we know.
Now, if I remember correctly, after this inside bit, that's where the really big drop is, so I will have to disappear quite quickly again. This is really nice. I like this. It's loud. I have my hat on with my hood on top, so you can potentially wear ear defenders underneath a hood, I reckon. We went down one sort sort of double drop in the dark. It wasn't very big, and then another little drop, and we've been going along in, but it's like little jumping water fountains everywhere, and just more and more and more stuff. And then we're going to go on and up, which means that the big drop's coming up. Yeah, it was a pretty big drop, but it's really, really fun. If you sit in the front, I think you get wetter. We're sat in the second row, and it's not too bad. I'm actually pretty dry, all the way I'm wearing a raincoat, so yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was good. It's more than just the log flume, because the scenery and the different rides make it interesting and more sort of kiddie friendly, and it's got more than one drop as well.
Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's the truth. It's actual. Everything is satisfaction.
And that is the end of the ride. We're in the Fast Pass Plus queue for the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise is a gentle river journey on a boat with pretend animals and pretend things to look at. And the Fast Pass queue doesn't look all that short. I'll let you know how long it takes. This is one of the few rides in Disney that still has actors on the ride. The other one that I like, the Great Movie Ride, that shut last year. So the actors are pretending that they're giving you tours around the jungle, and it's done up quite well. It is quite good. It's a fairly kiddie ride, but it's fun. You can probably hear there are microphones, so it's a little bit loud, and the engine of the boat's quite loud, and it can also smell a little because it's like a steamboat. So if you're sensitive to smell, then that's worth bearing in mind.
You're getting promoted! You're going to Flight of Passage! Alright, my name is Sarah, and I'll be your skipper for however long we make it on our 6-month cruise. Is it anybody's first time here on the Jungle Cruise? You guys, me too. Me too. Is it anybody's last time here on the Jungle Cruise? Everybody should be raising their hands. Yes, we're not going to make it. I get paid by how many people I take into the jungle, not how many I bring back. And we're heading into
If your child is quite literal, it could be quite scary.
Out of the year. Now, here on the right and around the corner here on the left, we have some very beautiful monarch butterflies with a wingspan ranging from years. This is a snake. Don't get too close. He might develop a crush on you, and that'll make for a very constricting relationship. So I would advise not to get tied up in that. Alright, I'm going to stop off on my camp for a few supplies that I forgot here on our cruise. Oh, what a mess! Reminds me of the time my in-laws came to town. Good news though, good news. I was trying to get my truck to start earlier. Guess they got it to turn over. I need to thank him later on for that.
This is the Haunted Mansion. The Fast Pass queue sends you to this bit, and you're waiting to go in that door over there. And once you get in that door, I mean, this bit's stressful enough as it is because it's a pretty crowded area. Once you get in that door, stay by the door and ask the person who opens it if you can bypass the crowded room, and they will take you a separate way to the ride so that you don't end up in another packed room after this bit. But unfortunately, you can't bypass this bit. Okay, so we weren't let straight through the door. We had to then wait in another crowded area. The sun's getting pretty dressed. We did skip the crowded room, and then normally they send us down this side here, but instead they've thrown us into a huge crowded queue, and it's loud and dark and crowded, and we're not doing so well. So not the best today. And this is the Fast Pass queue for Peter Pan. Started raining outside, so it's pretty busy in the standby queue. This is our Disability Access Pass ride that we are going on now. That's It's a Small World over there. Peter Pan's a fairly gentle ride. It's quite a kiddie ride. It's one of the older rides in the park where there's all sort of scenery to look at. You start by flying out the window, and then you head out over London town, and you get to see Captain Hook and the crocodile and stuff. So it's a fun ride. It's not too loud. It does go very high up, but there is like a lap belt that comes down. So that was our last trip this year to Magic Kingdom. It hasn't been so bad, even though it was super busy. We got some extra fast passes from guest services, so it worked out okay. We're now heading on over to the Contemporary Resort car park to get our car. It's just a short walk up here. The queues at this time, I think because it's just started raining, are really long for the ferry boat and the monorail. So we made the right decision going to the Contemporary Resort. You can't actually park there unless you have a dining reservation at one of the Contemporary Resort restaurants.